Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. I've had an absolute nightmare trying to film this tutorial. This is take four. Take four, and it's gone 10 o'clock at night. I should really give up, but I can't. I've got to plod on. I've got to keep going. I'm making an arrow fold card tonight. I've been inspired by Sam at Mixed Up Craft. I've not had much of a crafty mojo recently, so I always watch her and she always gets me back into my craft. Let me tell you what I've started off with. By the Bay designer series paper from the Stamping Up mini catalogue. This paper is just stunning, full of blues and greens. So we've got Coastal Cabana, balmy blue, there's white behind it, got this pearlized effect going on, and then the Night of Navy in there as well. Just stunning. And the rest of the paper is just equally as stunning, with the gold and the pearl running all the way through it. I've got a piece of that card of that DSP here, and that measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And at the bottom point, so decide what's going to be the direction of your paper, although we're going to skew it a little bit, but find the bottom point, middle point of your designer series paper. That's 2 5/8, and then slice up to these corners, and it leaves you with that. You're going to do the same with a piece of Coastal Cabana card, or any colour of your liking, and that measures 5 1/2 inches. That middle point here is 2 3/4 inches, and slice from that middle point to this corner, from the middle point to that corner. That gives you the same effect with that. And then with a piece of Night of Navy cardstock that measures 11 1/2 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored down the middle at 5 3/4. The middle point here is 2 7/8, and you will slice from that middle point to the score line, and then back from this middle point to the score line. So I'm really sorry I've done that ahead of time, but there was no way after 4 takes, or 3 takes, and this is my 4th, to then cut it all out again. Hopefully you can follow that. So that's going to fold over like that. That's kind of like the base of my card. I'm going to put some white or some Coastal Cabana card in the inside, but I want to wait until I finish the card because I don't want to be able to see that from the front. So that's our starting point. So I'm just going to arrange these. So that's what we cut out from that bit there. And then we're going to layer these pieces. So we start off with the Night of Navy, and then layer that up with Coastal Cabana. Do that way actually. Sometimes the cutting goes a little bit off, and just need to layer them up where they match the best. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to put that on there like that, and then you're just going to glue it all together there, and then we'll do the same here. We'll layer that up like that. And then put that layer there. Let's bring that down like that. So I'll glue that all together and I'll show you what that looks like. So there are my 2 kind of outer triangles, and we're going to put those on the card. They're going to go at a bit of an angle, but I don't really think that the pattern of that paper is lost too much with that. I would say when you're cutting out your triangles, to be as accurate on your measurements as possible. This is my 2nd attempt at this because I just rushed it and just wasn't very careful with the markings of my centre points, and then all of the angles here just went completely wrong. The card was just totally ruined. So there isn't any reason why even a beginner couldn't do this card. It's just accuracy. As soon as you start getting angles involved, then that's when it can go a little bit pear-shaped. So that's all glued up and layered, and I'll put those to one side. So the next thing we've got is, so this is the front of our card with that point. And I'm going to layer this on here. Just want to make sure that all fits. That fits far better than those other triangles did. So we're going to put that there. And yep, that all fits quite nicely on there. So I'm using liquid glue to put all of these triangles together. Liquid glue just gives you that little bit of room to maneuver. Don't go too far into the points, because then the glue has a tendency to ooze out. You can use tear and tape or what I call dispenser glue. I don't know if that's what it's called. But you've really got to be accurate as soon as it goes down. And I don't like that. I can't take that risk. I like to be able to just shift that very slightly. You've only got a few seconds, but that's usually plenty of time to make sure that it's all accurate. And then we'll put this bit in that centre, and that's the main prep of the card done. But take your time over those initial cuts and measurements. Put that in there like that. Now I'll tell you what I really like about this By the Bay designer series paper is that it's completely gender neutral. That's what I really like about this. I think it can suit anybody. If people like blues and greens, then this is perfect for them. Just burnishing that down. Okay. So that's what we've got. If I can get it in shot, that's what we've got. So what's going to happen is we're going to layer this by, we want these points to meet the end, and then that point up there to match the end. So that's where that one's going to sit. But we need to remember to only put glue against the back here, not here, otherwise it sticks to the inside of the card. And then this one will sit over it. And what I've done is just wanted to make sure this blue here was visible, so it offsets against that Night of Navy. So that's how that's going to sit there. And the other thing that I like to do with that as well, in a minute I want to make this all kind of be raised, have some dimension to it. So probably what I'm going to do, I need to decide what I'm going to put on the front of this card. And I think what I'm going to do is layer it up with perhaps some circles. I'll have a look and see what I've got. Now I sometimes think if you are doing something that's quite angular, then to put a circle on there gives it just softens it a bit. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm either going to do these layering circles, and I could put a circle right in the middle of that just to soften those harsh lines. So you need to decide what size to put on there. Probably that. I don't want anything too big because then you just kind of lose it. So I'll do 2 circles that they'll nest. So probably have one that size and then one to sit on top of it at that size that I can put my sentiment on. So we could do that. So let's put those there just in case. Once I've decided what to do. I do like to show you my decision process, you know, how I come to a decision. And the main thing I do is try not to overthink it, which can be quite difficult sometimes. I am a bit of an overthinker. Now I know now that these rectangles won't work. If I'd still had the layering squares, I would have done that. Oh, I don't know now actually. Now if I was doing a Facebook Live, and if you didn't know, I do have a Facebook page where I do Facebook Lives. Please come and find me on that. Just come to Facebook and look up Taffy Crafting. I could actually put that on there Oh, this is now really tempting. Yeah, so on my Facebook Lives, I do like little polls. What do you think I should do here? So, because it's so late at night when I'm filming this, I really don't have time to do both of them. But I think I'm going to try the rectangles. I've made this card before and I did it with circles. But I'm going to ditch the circles and I'm going to do rectangles. So yes, if you've not seen me before on Facebook, please pop over and come and see me on Facebook. Come and join in my Facebook Lives. So what I'm going to do is cut out one in Night of Navy and one in Coastal Cabana. And as if by magic, here they are, all done. So that's those layered. So if I bring this forward, remember that's still got to be glued yet. There we go. I think that works nicely. And I think especially, you know, if you were making this for perhaps the man in your life, I think that suits a male persuasion perhaps more than female. Can't really make these assumptions these days, can we? But that's kind of where I'm going with that. Now I need to think about the inside as well, and I did think about what I would do with regard to putting a sentiment in the middle, and I think what I've got to do is actually make a piece that goes in the middle. It will be seen from the outside, but that is what it is. So here's my last piece of Coastal Cabana. Lots of rumours about there being a colour refresh soon. I don't know if that will happen. I don't know if it will. But this is 5x5, by the way. The rumours are really mounting that there will be a colour refresh. So I haven't bought any more coloured cards. I haven't bought any more new inks. I'm going to sit and wait. Right, we need some sentiments. So I'm just going to go off and quickly find one. Now for the inside of my card, I'm going to use this from Charming Sentiments, wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And I'm going to stamp that with Night of Navy ink. Night of Navy ink is perfect for sentiments. And I left my ink over on the other side of the room. So I'm stamping this before I stick this into the middle of my card, because if the stamping didn't go quite right, then at least I could flip it over and try again. Hopefully this is straight. Perfect. So I'll stick that in the middle in a moment. But before I do anything else, I'm going to put a sentiment here as well. And I'm going to use Go To Greetings. So this is a stamp set that was made by a 1 million seller. I do believe it was Lisa Curcio who's done this one. I think it was. So I'm going to pick out this happy birthday because that fits quite nicely on that card. Now this is a cling stamp set, so that just requires a little bit more thought as to getting that central. If it doesn't work, I do not want to be die cutting this again. Just want to get a nice flat part of my desk. Please work, please work. Oh yes, that's good. Right, so now I need my stamping dimensionals and start building this up. I'm going to start at the top of my card and work down. Now I'm using mini dimensionals here. I have got regular size ones somewhere. They're in a drawer. I'm not going to hunt for them now. Whoops. I've got brand new nails on. It's difficult to pick these up. So I put a little poll on my Facebook page as to what card to make for this blog that I'm doing tomorrow. And the other card that I put two choices. I put an arrow fold card, and I also put on there an interlocking gatefold card, which I will do. So watch this space. Watch out on my Facebook page. Now, before I stick that onto the front of the card, let's get this right. I'm going to put this one on first. So what I'm going to do is put some glue on the back of this from here up to the top. So I am going to eyeball it, but you could, if you wanted to, just make a pencil mark there. I am eyeballing it. Again, doesn't matter what glue you use, but just remember that you definitely will want some wiggle room here. So I'm going to get that to the top there first, kind of eyeball this down here. And oh, that wasn't far off getting that first time. Yep, happy with that. Get that stuck down. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. So I need to glue from here up to there. Not too far up to the top because it will ooze a bit. I'm going to put that there. There's a little oozage there. Let's just quickly pick that up before it sets. Now this is not only trying to stick to here, but it's trying to stick to here and here. Let's get my sticky finger out of the way. Now our liquid glue means business. It does really set fast and hard. I just want to make sure that's stuck there like that. Right, this is going to sit here, but I want to mount it onto mini dimensionals. Or dimensionals would be much better. But as I don't have those handy, my fingers are really sticky now, but it's going to be worth it. It's absolutely going to be worth it once I get this on. There we go. Now deciding on where you're going to put it is quite tricky, and I think what I want to do, I want it to kind of just cover up where these two meet. I think does it need to be in the middle? It's really difficult to decide. Actually, I think I'm going to put that there. Oh, I don't know. I'm putting it there. I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. Spend all day deciding where I'm going to put that. So we've got that there. Then the last thing we need to do, although there is something else I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to put that right in the middle and put that there. Now you might say, yeah, but you can see that, and yeah, you can, and there's nothing we can do about that. But to be honest, once it's standing up, you don't really take much notice of what's going on behind it, but we do need to have that sentiment there. The alternative is that you put something on the back, but I still then think you've got too much of that card on show. Everyone will have an opinion on that. It doesn't matter. I'm running out of glue. Come on, out you come. So this has got a nice big border around this. And I've got a big enough piece of card in there to ensure that there's room to write a sentiment and a message. just dispersing the glue. This is the easiest way of doing it. So there we have that. Now there is something I want to put on there, if I can find them. Yeah, I've got these glossy dots and I love these blue ones. This is perfect for this. I'm going to put one there. Let's put a big one there. Whoops. Oh, that's stuck down. Right, need to get my, take your picky tool. Just about salvaged that, but that one can go. I thought that was going to bring up all the cards with it. Let's put that there. Could put some ribbon around that as well if you wanted to, but I quite like that. It's got just this little bit of like a bit of seaside bling on there. So that's an arrow card, and I really like making those because I just think they look so striking. And once you've done those initial cutouts, it's quite easy to put together. So I hope you like that. I hope that inspires you to give it a go. Please hop over to my Facebook page. I would love to see you there. That's where a lot of my stuff goes on. So please pop over, give me a follow. I'd be really grateful. And I'm on Instagram as well. You can just search for Taffy Crafting. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. All of the measurements will be in my blog, and there's a link to that in the description bar below. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.